Welcome to On the Point Podcast, a podcast for all things Overwatch with a heavy focus on League, discussing roster moves, weekly matchups, and how I really, really wish the Outlaws would get their act together. I love them so much. I'm die.
We're gonna talk about that.
I know.
Yeah, I messaged you after the first game, like, I'm sorry to say it, but your boys look bad.
I was in the middle of selling raffle tickets for charity at Gallifrey. It was, I kind of looked at that and went, back to the carpet.
Yeah.
Yes, so I am Katie. I am the support main, and I'm dying slowly.
I'm CJ. I'm drinking whiskey.
Okay. It's going to be one of those episodes, y'all. It really is. It's going to be fun.
Look, I have to help my job move from our current office to the one next to our studio tomorrow. I'm fucking allowed.
Aren't there creepy dolls in the hallway?
Yeah, so I don't know who set up the first one, but we share our offices with a show that's being made, and it's kind of like a crafting show. It's a competition thing, and it's like a bunch of kids doing like crafting challenges, and so some of the odds and ends are still in the office.
Including creepy dolls?
Yes.
Christ.
So I'm running between the offices because we have several office spaces in the same, industrial park. And as I'm about to run out of the one that I'm in to the main office, I turn the corner and see, like, in a dark corner of the hall, a baby doll sitting in a tiny chair with a packet of teriyaki beef jerky sitting in his lap, and I'm just not expecting to see it, and it startles the hell out of me.
I feel like it's the beef jerky that really makes that image.
Yeah, it was. And then I come back from it, and I, ask one of the other people in the office, like, do you know who the hell did this? And he's like, did what? And I take him over and I show him, and he takes the jerky.
Do not take the cursed doll jerky.
No.
That's the title for this episode. It is not the title for this episode, but damn.
Yeah, and then I decided, go for the KFC's double down on this bitch, so I found another doll and set it up across the hall from the first one. So
you did the second one.
I did the second one. And I set it up flanking the door on the other side. And then when I came in this morning, there was a third. And I don't know who set up the third.
They are multiplying.
And I don't know where they found the third because I didn't see a third one in the prop closet.
It's because they took the cursed jerky.
Yeah.
You're gonna wind up with like 10 dolls, and then it's gonna be a horror movie.
Yeah,
this is still Act 1.
Yeah. So if there's a fourth one tomorrow, I'm gonna start being concerned. But
whereas I'm coming from a convention and a movie premiere last night and happy hour half an hour ago, so I'm here.
Yeah.
Let's go with here.
Yeah.
And trying real hard not to think about the Outlaws.
Well,
I love them. I feel so bad. God damn it. Let's talk about last week's results.
I was going to say
Florida showed up.
Yeah, they did.
Florida showed up massive. BQB Overwatch is here to stay. Good Lord.
BQB looked a lot stronger than I've ever seen him look. Karayan looked stronger on the main tank than I expected him to. Gangnam Jin looked as awesome as I thought he would. I'm still skeptical about how they're going to perform against stronger teams as we get deeper into the season. I don't think the Outlaws match really tells us anything because
the Outlaws were having some trouble this week.
Excuse me while I take my phone off of my desk.
And supposedly several of the Outlaws players were sick. But none of the team really wants to use that as an excuse, and I can see why.
Yeah.
You still need to be able to perform while you're missing people.
I'm gonna go off a little bit.
Well, let's get through the results first, and then let's talk.
Yeah, so Florida Mayhem stomps the ever-living hell out of the Houston Outlaws 3-0, foiling both of our predictions because
we both thought that it would be the exact opposite way.
Yeah. Washington Justice went down against the hometown Philadelphia Fusion, with the Fusion picking up a 3-1 victory.
And this was a close one.
It was. It was a very hotly contested series, and I was very happy watching it, aside from all the pauses.
Have you noticed that we'll come back to that later?
Time
Oh no, I have a Cheez-Its joke, but we'll come back to that later.
You don't have to go home, but you can't play here.
Hey.
Anyway, Justice got back into the swing of things, picking up a 3-0 against the Outlaws, and Philadelphia Fusion went perfect for their second match against the Florida Mayhem. 3-0 victory in their favor.
So the closest match that we have was definitely the Justice and the Fusion.
Yes.
Which means it'll be interesting to see both of these teams play a slew of other teams this coming weekend when Washington's at home.
For sure, because I think right now, out of the teams we saw play, these were the only two teams that I think we kind of had high hopes for in terms of their performance.
Well, I had high hopes for the Outlaws, but things happen.
Well, yeah, but let me put it this way. The traditional front runners that we kind of expect to do well: New York, Vancouver, San Francisco, and I think Atlanta's in that conversation now.
Atlanta is in that conversation given their pedigree from last year. We still have to see how they'll perform this season.
For sure.
But nothing has changed.
For sure. We haven't seen either of these teams go up against a real test except each other just yet. However, next week, we're going to see the Philadelphia Fusion go up against the New York Excelsior, which that'll be interesting because we'll finally really get a sense of
just how good Philly is.
Yeah, of where these teams are in relation to each other.
Yeah. And again, Justice, we had high hopes for them. We saw them get better at the end of last season. One of, I want to say, 3 teams to hand the Titans a regular season defeat.
Yes.
And it was handily happened. And so we know that this is a strong DPS line. We saw the support line actually showing up, which was the big worry. And our tank and off-tank duo did pretty damn well. So this is a team where we had hopes based on the DPS, and then they just continued on. So I will be interested to see how they do with a home crowd at their backs, for one, because they were doing this getting solidly booed all the time.
They were having fun with it, though.
Oh, my God. Stratus Meme Lord Overwatch was having a good time.
I don't think it affected them even in the slightest bit.
But having a home crowd always does.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying that the booing, I don't think, really took them down any sort of... Yeah.
No. But there's always that boost. So because we're looking forward to Justice against Paris, which I wouldn't put them in the same tier, but Paris did show up in their second match last week. And Justice versus London, which I think is going to go about as well as Justice versus Outlaws for London. God bless them.
Yeah. Before we get too much into that, though, I do want to focus, a little on the stuff that I saw this week. I already talked about Florida. Washington, Ellie Vote and Roar performed better than I thought they would. Like, they're people that I rate fairly highly, but I wasn't sure how they were going to, one, mesh together, and two, because Ellie Vote and Lulzish, who is still...
Are the combo.
Yeah, and they've been friends for life, and they've been, a tank duo together for a very long time. So it was good to see that, there were definitely moments of miscommunication, like where I feel like one or the other could have been a little more in step with their partner, but they looked good, and I think they will continue to improve. Backline definitely did better than I thought they would. Like, Aim God is someone who I kind of picked as middling, but he looked very strong. Fusion, Sato definitely performed better than I thought he would. Poco...
Can we talk about the back cap from Arc?
Yes.
Because that was a thing of wonder and glory. Great. And we don't see back caps too terribly often in Overwatch League because teams are usually too damn good to let them slide.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this was just a blast because it even took a moment for the casters to catch on, like, wait, Arc's on the point. Switch the camera angle, production. That's where the money is.
I was saying pretty much the same thing in real time as this was happening. Like,
I was watching all of the VODs for this because, again, neck deep in sinking in the charity auction in Gallifrey.
Yeah.
I came into all of this later, but that was still... I was not spoiled for that. So when
Yeah.
that came down the line, I was watching that going, holy cow, first bat cap of the season.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, actually not the first one, but the
No?
first.
Who bat capped last week?
Didn't London have one?
Did they?
I thought they got one off on New York, or at least attempted to. Like, Sanguinar, like, flipped the point for, like, a half second in overtime.
It's possible. I honestly don't remember. I just remember London having trouble.
Fair enough. So, yeah, Washington, all cylinders fired a little harder than I thought they would.
Good.
Fusion, Sato looked better than I thought he would. Ivy looked better than I thought he would. It was very interesting to me that they're starting Poco over Fury.
Really? 'Cause
Yeah.
Poco performed pretty well.
Oh, it's not that I doubt Poco's ability. It's just the same thing the casters were saying over and over again, which is Fury is rated as one of the best off tanks, particularly one of the best divas in the world all time, like top 3. So Poco definitely did a good job. He played in step with Sato very well. I just was expecting to see Fury, and I don't think that they're necessarily, hurting without him. I don't think Poco's, like, costing them anything.
No.
It was just interesting, and I wonder if, Fury just didn't gel as well with Sato, or maybe they are still kind of integrating him into the team, or, like, what exactly the situation is. I don't think there's necessarily any problems or anything. Yeah. It's just I'm wondering why Poco to them is the ideal pick.
Well, this is not... I think it might, with all of the insider knowledge that I absolutely do not have, I think you're onto something with Fury maybe not gelling as well, because this is not a game where you can afford to sacrifice teamwork for talent.
Yeah.
And I say that about a team that has Carpe on it. And Carpe likes to carry.
Yeah.
And you just can't. You can't have one person carry a 6-person team. And then when you come down to the wire on this, because, again, Fusion versus Justice was extremely close.
Yeah.
And those little teeny bits make a big difference.
Yeah, and, I think part of it comes down to the fact that Poco just played with Sato for, like, a season and a half, going with, like, the last stage of the first, being like, over a third of our current. Sorry, I'm getting over a bit of a bug.
Yay!
But yeah, with a stage from season 1 being almost, being over a third of the current season.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of time to play with Sato and get adapted to him, and so, maybe it was just a matter of they were in step and, just rolling with the existing synergy that was already there.
And practice and scrim time are more limited when you're traveling.
For
just
sure.
Full stop.
For sure.
I think it'll be a bit before we see that really start to hit, but I think later in the season we are going to see a practice time and the ability to integrate new players into a team, especially when we start getting mid and later season pickups and drop-offs and whatnot. And especially when hero pools start soon.
Yes.
I think that adaptability is going to take a hit, and we're going to see that lack of practice time really come into play.
Yeah, the thing is, I think that the way the current season is structured and the way that everything is going is the teams, and I've said this before, the teams with the best system are going to be the most successful. The ones that are well coached, can integrate new ideas and work well together. The ones that are drilled to just do their job and perform together and are a cohesive unit. The teams that do not have a good system in place to shot call, to make decisions, to adapt on the fly, all of that, they're the ones who are going to suffer.
So I think we're going to see our top tier teams continue to pull away. Our New York and San Francisco and Vancouver. And I would wager, just from what we saw this weekend, that Washington and Philly are also teams that probably have a system like that in place and can probably bounce back.
I think Atlanta as well.
Yeah, and again, we haven't seen Atlanta play yet.
Yeah,
But
and you know, it is all on paper, and on paper kind of brings me to Houston.
God bless them.
So
I love them so much. God damn it.
so I have, and this is no surprise to anyone who's listened to this, historically thought that Houston was a very overrated team.
What a surprise.
Yeah.
Quelle surprise.
I
have never heard this from you.
And
How
it's
dare you.
and it's not because I have anything against them as a team or as people. They seem like a perfectly fine bunch of people, and every interaction I've had with them has been great.
It's just because you're a Dallas fan.
Oh no, this was
I know, I'm messing with you.
this was before the Overwatch League even existed. I thought they were, but I thought the team that they were prior to this. Although it's a very different roster now than it was then, but
A little bit.
first 2 seasons pretty much the same.
Eh.
Yeah, it's this. It was pretty much the same plus Linkser and then Dante.
I'm going to say plus Linkser and plus Dante is a lot, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a big difference. But basically, the things that I'd always thought hurt them as a team were, one, lack of in-game leadership. Because if Jake wasn't in there, oh boy, was that noticeable.
And Jake is permanently not in there now.
Yeah, I thought the off-tank position was a weakness for them because both of their off-tanks were hyper-specialized, basically.
Yeah.
And I think Cool Matt kind of had a similar, maybe not the same exact thing as Mickey, but just his playstyle kind of stopped being effective. Spree, I rate a little better. I don't, know how much of him we'll get to see because I do think Meko is the stronger off tank of the two of them on a wider variety of things. But it's the back line because Benny and Boink are just, I don't think, on the same level as a lot of the other supports, mechanically speaking. And I think Muma's decision-making on Reinhardt, especially when it comes to hitting the shift key, is very questionable.
Oh, didn't like those charges.
I've never liked his charges. World Cup year before last now, I was watching it, and I think I ranted to you about this, of just how bad... It was during the US-UK match, and he was just given to the needy, running a soup kitchen, making sure that every single member of the UK team was well fed.
Yeah, I do remember this. I absolutely remember this. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I love you, Muma. Despite all the words that I just said.
You can love someone and disagree with their decisions.
Yes. And also just, I'm firmly of the opinion that if you are in charge of a team for 2 years, even with the additional difficulties that Houston had last season, obviously, but you had Flame, you had Tyrong in place, and they're working with a team that had a lot of pre-existing synergy. And the fact that they have been so uncoordinated that entire time is, to me, not a great look.
Well, yeah, no. Can we talk about Brig Lucio?
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that. So when I saw the moves they were making this offseason, and I said this on our roster stuff episodes, I thought they were making a lot of moves that were going to be very helpful. Having Meko, really good off tank. Having a backline upgrade in Repel and Jexay over Raucus and Boink. And picking up some...
Neither of whom played.
Well, no, Jexay did.
Jexay did, okay.
And then Repel did, but only for 2 maps and not at all in the first game. And then adding some additional DPS firepower in the form of Hydration and also Blase. Though Hydration more than Blase. Blase, I think
Blase, you're blase about?
Yes.
Hey.
So when I saw their performance in these games, and I also rated Harsha very highly as a coach because I've liked his analytical content in the past, and he was a part of the Titans winning structure last season. So I thought, he's an experienced guy who I've thought has a genuine wealth of Overwatch knowledge to really contribute. To me, this seemed like, getting all your ducks in a row to really make a strive to improve. I was very wrong.
Yeah, we definitely have some ducks that aren't even in the pond right now.
Yeah, no, this current lineup doesn't look like they could hit the ocean from the beach.
Oof. Something waterfowl alignment issues.
Yeah, so, one, like you were saying, Brig Lucio backline setup.
And continuing to go Brig Lucio far beyond the point where it was viable.
And I know that they said, it was what was doing well for them in scrims, but that composition is so limited in what it can do in a lot of situations that it's really hard to imagine what world it worked in.
Who were they scrimming and what comps were they scrimming again? Were they scrimming London? Do you think they were scrimming London where that worked?
It's possible.
Although I don't think I'm allowed to talk shit because London at least took a map off New York.
Yeah, London looked solid in the New York game, even if they were, steps behind. So yeah, the backline decisions were baffling. Blase played like he was terrified.
It was a house of cards, and it went all down.
Hydration looked worse on that May than I have ever seen him look in professional play.
Oof.
Because Hydration is really good.
Yeah.
But his wall placement was, good maybe 25% of the time. His ultimates were good maybe 10% of the time.
So he was doing quick play, May.
That's being generous.
Oh, fuck. Wow. You either need more whiskey or less. 'Cause that's mean.
Oh, no, trust me. I was winding up to this.
I know.
And
that's why I drank before I came here. And then sobered up.
Yeah, and Muma's Reinhardt, he's got a very good Winston, and he's got a very good Wrecking Ball, and his Orisa's pretty solid. His Reinhardt has, in my mind, always been the weakest of his main tanks.
And here we are in a Reinhardt meta.
Yeah, and this team did not play together. They did not perform individually. They did not have a good strategic they did not have a good strategic sort of approach to these matchups in terms of their composition. They fell short at literally every level.
Yep.
To quote Neptuno, he said something along the lines of, I want to apologize for what I said about Boston, but I honestly couldn't have seen Houston coming.
Jesus. Oh, I think he's also the same one who made a crack about the best way to play Lucio Brig is to switch off of Lucio Brig. Something like that. Yeah. I think that was him. It was either him or I don't think it was Carpe. But someone threw shade to the point where it got on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Because the desk was definitely having a field. Because the desk always has a field day with this.
Yeah. So, yeah, some of this is definitely the, obviously I don't know who was sick or, how many of them made it to stage or not. Because if 4 people were sick on their roster, who the hell were they planning on starting?
Yeah. Or people who were recovering may have come up to play.
Yeah.
And when you're getting over being sick, especially if it was the flu, you're not there. The brain is not there. And again, this is one of those, the fans know it, someone might have been sick, but no one official is using that excuse, and honestly, good for them.
Linkster straight up said he wasn't sick.
Huh.
He just tweeted out that, I'm not sick, I'm just bad.
Oh, honey.
Which one, Linkster, you're not.
No.
You're really not.
They really needed you on Junkertown, my dude, at least the first 2 parts of it.
Yeah, Blase's not a hit scan player.
No.
He's not.
No. But it says something about the team where it's easy to take the excuse of, yeah, half our players were sick. No one's leaning into that. No one's saying, oh yeah, we didn't play well because they were sick.
yeah.
They're like,
they're all
nope,
saying
shit
like
happened.
we need to improve. But
Yeah.
the thing is, how to put this, the players sound really disheartened.
Well, yeah, they kind of got
And-
their shit wrecked in public. It's always disheartening.
no, for sure. The only thing is, I hope that they are not mentally boomed.
Yeah.
I like, basically, if they want to do well, they need to pick themselves up. They need to really, really put in some work before this weekend.
I will say they do have a chance this weekend in one of their matches because they're going up against Boston. Like, they're fucked against New York, let's be completely real. Most teams are. But they have a chance against Boston. Again, the only performance we've seen from Boston was against New York. But if Boston remains Boston, we might have a match here.
Boston had moments of hope.
You are so mean tonight. You are so mean tonight.
I'm just... It's one of those things that, like... There are things that annoy me when it comes to, like, professional play. And this situation hit a lot of them.
I mean, admittedly, we are armchair quarterbacking, but we're not doing it to their faces.
No.
If they find this on accident, that's on them.
In any case, despite how harsh I'm being, I really do want them to improve.
No, Harsh is the coach.
I said as harsh as.
I know. I went for it anyway. The vowel was there. You cannot stop me. You can only weather the storm. I have to make myself feel better somehow.
You know,
that.
I was getting into being positive, right? Yeah, despite how harsh I'm being, I really do want them to improve and do well. This performance, though, was almost as bad as it gets.
It was pretty abysmal.
Yeah.
It was. This was Shanghai Season 1 performance.
It was.
And we know they're better than Shanghai Season 1. Everyone in the league right now is better than Shanghai Season 1.
Yeah, and so looking at this right now, they need to figure out their system on the field. They need to start that repel jack say line. They need to try and play more meta support comps that don't hamstring them. Unbind Muma's shift key.
So, is Sigma viable anymore? I know they nerfed the fuck out of him to try to get rid of dual shield meta, but from what I've heard, the going thing is that Sigma is no longer viable in comp because he got massively nerfed. He's not a straight up replacement for Reinhardt, but he's got the shield mobility that Reinhardt has. It can be moved.
Yes and no. Rhine Shield, you can raise and drop at will, and while the Sigma Shield, you can deploy it further from you, there is the 1 second cooldown.
Yeah.
The other thing is the Sigma Shield is almost 50% weaker.
Yeah. Thanks,
and,
dual shield meta nerfs. Woo.
And Reinhardt does more close-up damage. There's the cleave potential with the hammer swings and the fire strike. And
So this isn't a matter of swapping in another tank character. It's a matter of Muma doing Rhine drills.
yeah.
Okay.
The Rhine right now is, I think, the most essential tank. You can play Orisa, but Diva is stronger right now.
Yeah.
So basically, Rhine Diva is what you need to get down and dirty with. If you can field the Orisa as well and have it as a different look, that's fine. But the Reinhardt is kind of the part that remains in either one, and if your Reinhardt isn't performing, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, and you'd specifically need Diva for the ability to eat blizzards and other things. And admittedly, a swap out with Sigma would also work there in terms of being able to eat things, but not for the other utilitarian bits.
It's a lot harder to eat things with Sigma just because you don't have one, his eat has less range than the Diva Matrix. Two, the Diva Matrix you can kind of flick on and off, whereas the Sigma button, once you hit it, it goes until it's
on.
expended, and
Yeah.
then the cooldown is going.
A chunk of time.
Yeah, and then Diva's also way more mobile, so it's easier to be in position or be at an angle that your opponent isn't expecting. Like, one of the ways you'll see Divas get the eat is be on a high ground or be behind the person that they're trying to eat the ultimate of, because if they don't see the Diva, they are more likely to assume they have a clean shot of getting their grab or their Deadeye or whatever else off.
Can you eat a Deadeye?
You can.
What?
Yeah, the thing that makes it the things that makes it difficult. If you have the Matrix over McCree, when it fires, you will eat the shots.
That's amazing. What the fuck?
The thing is, you need to time it or mind game it, because the amount of time the Deadeye can be like charged is longer than the Diva Defense Matrix. So if you just try and put it over him from the start, he can wait you out.
Yeah. So it's... Cause I was initially going to compare it to Genji blocking a Dragon Strike, but that's split-second timing as opposed to knowing your opponent and longer timing.
Yeah.
Is there an ult that cannot be stopped?
Well, Earth Shatter.
Well-placed stun.
Oh, I thought you were saying by the Diva Matrix.
Oh, no. In general. There's a number of things that cannot be stopped by the Diva Matrix. Like, I'm just thinking, like, in general, is there an ult that can't be stopped? Or is everything's vulnerable to a flashbang, I guess? So,
I don't know if Bongo can be interrupted by flashbang.
that's true, but that can be destroyed.
Diva Bomb. You can block it, but you're not stopping the bomb from going off.
If you throw the Winston shield over it.
I said you can block it, but you're not
That's
stopping
true.
the bomb from going off.
But I mean, you can also block a shatter, but you can't.
You can stop a
stun
shatter
during a shatter.
Yes.
Sigmas, though.
Whose
Whose name I can't remember, but it's just yelling about that melody and then yeeting everyone into space.
Gravitic Flux.
Thank you. I prefer yeeting everyone into space. It works. They gave us such a great character, and now we can't do anything with him. It's really sad.
Yeah, I will say I think the stun cancel window on Tracer's Pulse Bomb is too long, because there are times where it's physically left my hand and I've gotten stunned, and then it's just, it disappears.
Can the pulse bomb be eaten?
Yes.
Makes sense. Projectile.
Pulse Bomb can be eaten. Dragon...
If you eat, it can eat.
You can eat the Mayult. You
yeah.
can eat the Graviton Surge. You can eat the Dragon Strike before it turns into the dragons. You can eat the... you can eat Soldier. You can eat Kree. You can eat...
Anything that's projectile based, you can eat.
Pretty much. If it's not a beam or like a wave, yeah.
Yeah. Dragon Blade requires a stun.
Stun, you can use Trance or Beat to counteract some of it, though Trance is better for it.
Trance can't be counteracted, can it?
A
stun could during the animation, anything can be
it's
wrecked.
more or less instant. The thing is, Trance, you can block it.
And you can also boop him off into oblivion.
I was also going to say
done that.
I was also going to say you can anti the people getting the healing.
This is true. But that's more status effects around the ult as opposed to stopping the ult itself.
Yeah.
In the same way that you can block a Diva Bomb, but you can't stop it from going off.
I will say one of my proudest things I did in a comp game was we grabbed the enemy team and they're Zen tranced. I put my shield in the middle of their team, and the people on the opposite side of the shield from him in the grav died.
How does that even work?
The shield is a barrier.
Oh my god.
It cuts the healing.
Physics are so fucked up in this game. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it so much. That's so weird.
I put the shield between the Zen and his teammates, and the people on the other side from the Zen have a barrier between them and him, and Trance is line of sight.
True.
Yeah.
Symmetrazult and, oh my god.
Batiste.
Why can I... Thank you. My brain went Bastille, and then, like, that's not correct. Great band, not correct. I was
close your eyes. Does it almost seem like you've been here before? Just cut to Houston looking depressed.
How am I going to be an octopus about this? You've heard that story.
Yes.
Yes. For those of you who have not heard that story, Bastille concert, someone in the crowd held up a sign that said, "How am I going to be an octopus about this?" And the singer sang that instead of optimist. There's video online. It's pretty great.
It's not as good as the Britney Spears concert meme.
That I haven't seen.
It was the song she put out with like will.i.am or whatever. And
that.
And it was like the music drops out and she goes, "It's Britney, bitch." Mm-hmm. And when the music dropped out, some guy in the crowd shouted, "Who is it?" And it became a thing for the crowd to shout it when the music cuts out. And she goes, "It's Britney, bitch," like as like call and response.
Oh my god, it's like, where's the salt?
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Oh my god, best call and response ever.
Anyway,
though, full stop.
Yeah,
is Living Next Door to Alice. I do not know the band name. You can Google like living. The song is called Alice. It's this song about this guy, and he's lived next door to this woman for years and years and years, and always been in love with her, and never told her. And oh, she's moving away. What am I gonna do? The call and response is the chorus ends with "Living Next Door to Alice," and there's this beat, and the crowd just goes, "Alice? Who the fuck is Alice?" It's my favorite thing to do in Vegas because they do it at Nine Fine Irishmen, and it makes me very happy every time.
Yeah, it's very wrestling chant-esque, which wrestling chants are quite possibly my favorite thing.
Yes.
There was an ECW show. And if you don't know what ECW is like the hardcore shit where like people crank each other with chairs and bats and stuff.
Ooh.
And they were super like it was very much like the grunge era wrestling promotion.
Yeah.
They hated WWE. And eventually, when ECW folded, a lot of their talent ended up in WWE, and they convinced WWE to do. Later, ECW would get revived as a third brand for a little bit, but ECW got. They convinced WWE to fund like an ECW reunion show, just one-off thing for the money, and it was so successful they did a second. And at the second, they had Rob Van Dam, who was this ECW guy, up against John fucking Cena, and John Cena being the embodiment of everything ECW hates. They were booing him relentlessly. When he did his whole shtick of like throw the t-shirt into the crowd, they threw it back multiple times.
Ooh.
And there was one moment, I forget what he did, but he hit a legitimately good counter into some move that was genuinely impressive, and the crowd chanted, "You still suck! You still suck!" Which is just a great way of admitting, like, that was good, but...
we don't like you.
But fuck
But
you,
that
John.
was impressive.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Alice? Yes. What? Yep. Note. Call and responses make me really, really happy.
Yeah, I'll show you the "It's Britney, bitch" thing when we're done.
I will show you who the fuck is Alice when we're done. It brings me
yeah.
joy.
Anyway.
Look them up. They're great.
Anyway,
so we're both 50-50 on our predictions right now.
Yes.
It's anyone's game, except that I'm not as good at this, so it's probably not my game. Like I said, I'm not prescient, but I do have pattern recognition.
Yeah.
Which is what I said in our Ruby reactions right before someone died. So...
I know exactly whom...
Oh, no, I know. It's been a great season, guys. It's been great. February has been wonderful for my emotions. Woof. Anyway.
Shout out to Ironwood's depression beard.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
And now we cut to the ad read, and
Hello,
just
darkness, my old friend.
And now we just cut to the ad read after that. Jesus Christ, and then we cut back in.
No, I ain't cutting shit. This beautiful gallivanting train wreck, such as it is sponsored by Fred's BS, Spreads and Spreads by Fred. He is currently doing cookies and brownies, and these are some of the best damn cookies I have ever had in my life. Woo. And I have had many a cookie. They are called Brown Sugar Buddies. They are soft cookies. They are spice cookies. They are cookies that you should dip in any and all hot drinks. They are unbelievably good. And he is also doing brownies, which are half brownie, half blondie, all amazing. So, if you enjoy good tasting things and you would like to put some of them in your face, as you should, if you wish to treat yourself, if you wish to obtain things for upcoming holidays, if you have an Easter spread, or honestly, I'm not entirely sure what you do for dessert at Passover. If you do dessert at Passover, I will admit that level of cultural ignorance. But if you do have a nice dessert spread, adding Fred's BS to it will be great. If you want hangover food for the day after St. Patrick's Day, because that's coming up soon. Or if you just want some really, really good cookies, because let's be completely real, those Girl Scout cookies aren't going to last forever, but Fred's will still be around. You order yourself some Fred's. Everything is fresh, never frozen. Everything is made in small batches. You cannot find these flavors in stores or from Girl Scouts or anywhere else. And if you are an LA local, you can do pickup instead of delivery and get your goods even sooner, which for me on occasion has meant getting cookies fresh out of the oven, which is just a whole other level of wonderful. So to order, go to Fred He Bakes, FredHeBakes.com. That is FredHeBakes.com, and use coupon code ONTHEPOINT for 20% off your entire order. Do the thing, obtain the sweets. You deserve it.
Hell yeah. Also, speaking of damn good cookies, I
can't eat that till afterwards. Thank you. It looks really good. I can't eat it till afterwards. Why would you do that to me? Why would you put this in front of me when we still have at least another half hour of content?
Because you make me suffer doing this show.
You torture me. You torture me.
You make me suffer during this show. This is my way of getting revenge. That's salted caramel, by the way.
Fuck you. You're undermining our sponsor. How dare. Anyway, yes, FredHeBakes.com, do the thing, win the stuff.
Absolutely do it. I want those brownies right the hell now.
I don't think you can get them right the hell now because we are taping this pretty late at night.
I said
but you can put in an order and then pick them up.
In an ideal world, I would have them right the hell now.
This is true.
Anyway. So Blizzard has moved the canceled Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Hangzhou matches to Seoul.
Which they announced on Valentine's Day. Well, they might have announced it a little earlier than Valentine's Day.
There was some post or something discussing it.
The official article is dated on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's when the official article came out, but I remember hearing something about it prior to that.
Yeah.
The matches from February to March are going to be played during weeks 6 and 7 at a studio in Seoul, and it shouldn't affect the Washington, Florida, and Atlanta homestands this week, next week, and the following week.
Yeah, week 5, week 6, week 7. Not this week, because it's week 5, week 6,
week
7.
Sorry. Yeah.
Washington's got like 5 homestands. Yeah. It's pretty wild.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to go back to, I can't wait for another 30 minutes of dead time because we 3-0'd 2 teams and now we got to wait.
Yeah, I'm
a terrible human. I'm sure they've got a solution figured out. I'm sure they do. I also think at this point, because we've had more gameplay, they've had the opportunity to make more segments that can be played during those times.
I hope
I will be very surprised if Comms Check does not come back.
Yeah.
Because you can't always cut to the desk for stuff like that. And I mean, the desk is very good at doing things like that and working on the fly.
Yeah.
But you can't always do that, especially to fill 30 minutes of unplanned space.
Yes.
It's hard.
For sure. And the other thing that you need to sort of be aware of is put some more ads in the rotation, please.
Oh my god.
I'm so sick of seeing the ad for Legends of Soulguard. That has made me not only not want to play that mobile game ever, I want to punch the person who directed those ads.
I get it, and I think we might be waiting for more sponsorships, more ad revenue to come through, etc. And I also know that production is hard and you can only do what you're given, and that doing traffic, essentially, doing timing for ads is very difficult, because I know someone who works doing that for large networks. And there is a lot of different guidelines and whatnot you need to follow. So I get that it's difficult. Please get more ads. Yes. I'm starting to miss the Amazon Fire Stick ads that they had last season, and those are the ads that specifically pushed me to buy the $15 pass so I wouldn't ever have to hear them again. So
at least those didn't show up as much as this one, as the ads for this game.
Oh, every time I had an ad break on Twitch, it was that 2 or 3 times in a row. They were particularly bad for me for some reason. Point being, we would love for the league to get more sponsorships, and we would love for them to be able to put more ads in their rotation. And I mean, hell, show us the ads that, like, are these the same ads that everyone is getting because it's just the one? Or are they swapping things out for the Korean broadcast? Or for...
I mean, different people willing to pay money for the advertising slots.
I mean, if people in Korea and China and wherever are willing to pay ads for local stuff to get them on, dude, I will totally watch ads from other countries. They are fascinating sometimes.
Yeah, but they're not going to give away that airtime.
That's true.
They're going to say, if you pay us more, we can do that, but it's not going to be applicable because, like, companies that would pay for stuff in, like, Korea and China, generally speaking, don't do much business here in the U.S.
This is true.
Like, CJ Entis, Bilibili, like, they're huge in their native countries. Americans don't give a shit.
And yet, Hollywood caters to China.
Yes, because
Chinese cinema is huge.
Well, because the Chinese audience will buy American action movies.
Oh,
American audience goers won't buy tickets to Chinese action movies.
Which is really stupid, because we should. Because there's some amazing shit that we just never see.
Oh, yeah, it's glorious in the good and bad ends of the spectrum.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
in much the same way that ours are, too.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like Bong Joon-ho said, there's that 1-inch barrier of subtitles.
I've been an anime fan for so long that people bring up, I won't watch it because it's subtitled. I'm like, oh, are you having issues with subtitles? I have a friend who is dyslexic and cannot do subtitles. Yeah. And so that's where my brain goes, is like, oh, are you unable to do subtitles? No, I just don't like to read. Okay, I understand. Do it anyway. I understand. It's that thing. But again, when you're an anime fan for decades, you get used to it, or otherwise you don't get the content.
Pretty much.
But anyway, we need more ads in rotation. And have you noticed that Crunch Time has not made another appearance? It is Cheez-Its Game Break during halftime at the desk, but Crunch Time has not showed its face again.
I mean, it did once.
Did it? When? What did I miss? Oh, we're looking something up now. We're fucking going for it. I know that people on the desk have been making jokes about it.
This is unedited.
Oh, boy. I do appreciate the Crunch Time League Cheez-It bit.
Yeah, well, they actually
during Washington.
They actually contacted the person who made that and said, like,
and
"Hey, can we use it?"
Yes.
And
that's so smart.
Yeah. So
buy stuff from your fans.
Yeah. Yeah. For those of you who are unaware of this, there was a in some of the games over the course of the most recent homestand, there was a Crunch Time League logo used in the corner
of the lower thirds for the coming up next Watchpoint post
and
show.
Instead of Tracer in the middle of the logo, it was a Cheez-It.
I'm just noticing that the segment hasn't shown up again, and I'm wondering if that's Nabisco going, we don't like this.
Well,
We don't.
yeah. You have to lean into the meme or it will destroy you. I think Overwatch League is totally down with leaning into the meme.
Oh, yeah. Overwatch League would have died a long time ago if it weren't willing to lean into its own memes.
Yeah.
And let's be real, everyone on the desk gets it, and everyone in production gets it, so they're down. But I think maybe the people who are in charge of doing this for Nabisco don't get it and don't want people making fun of their product.
Traditional corporations are not the best when it comes to figuring out, how to utilize internet-related stuff.
I will say that there are some massive exceptions to that rule. Wendy's. Wendy's is particularly good. The Wendy's Twitter. Whoever is running the official Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter 100% knows their shit. And I'm talking about Sonic as a property.
I know.
No, not
I know.
just
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh no, I'm saying to everyone, not just to you. But yeah, just the Sonic as a property, not the Sonic movie Twitter, but Sonic as a property. Whoever's running that probably came from the fandom and knows what they're talking about. And I keep going back to Denny's Tumblr. Because I think that Denny's Tumblr started this corporate willingness to shitpost and go a little crazy because that's what we're here for.
Those are massive exceptions, though.
Oh, I know. I know most of them are...
Yeah, that are notable because they're so memey when most will not do that.
Oh, yeah. And I really wish Cheez-It had, and that they had not taken away crunch time. And I stand by what I said last week, that they should have run a Twitter contest.
Yeah.
That would have been so smart. Mm-hmm. And it's free advertising. The meme is free advertising.
Oh, yeah.
It truly is.
Yeah. And
you just gotta lean into it.
Yeah, and the other thing is, if you're advertising to this crowd... The memes are a thing this crowd specifically, memes are something you should embrace. This is the demographic that you are getting access to. And even if people are making fun of your product, it puts it in front of more people's eyes.
And the thing is, they weren't even making fun of Cheez-Its themselves. It was full on making fun of the production issues that led to crunch time.
Yeah, it wasn't negative attention
places.
About Cheetos. Or Cheetos, Cheez-Its.
Cheetos weren't involved.
My gamer wires are crossed.
Oh no, I gotcha. But this is the sort of thing where people will be, and I've done this myself, will be in their local grocery store, see a box of Cheez-Its and go, crunch time. Yeah. And maybe that'll make you think more about Cheez-Its, and maybe that'll make you want Cheez-Its, crunch time. Also, I like Cheez-Its. I want some.
Yeah, and also...
It's the stupid meme that sticks in your brain. I bought a thing of Mio forever ago because fucking sassy gay friend was shilling it. Mm-hmm. And Mio, as it turns out, is terrible. Yes. But sassy gay friend shorts are amazing. Mm. And that's what got me to do it.
Yeah.
So you lean into the curve and suddenly you're making a lot of sales in this demographic that's not always easy to market to.
Well, yeah.
We market to ourselves, just co-opt it.
Yeah, and the other thing is, companies just historically really misunderstand their demographic.
Oh, yeah.
An executive from a company that rhymes with My Y, from a TV network that rhymes with My Y.
Oh, dear.
There was a bit at a convention where they were going to make a Westworld joke.
Okay.
And this executive was like, "What's Westworld?"
Oh, dear.
And the producer in charge explains this thing, and the person goes, "Is that really our audience?"
Yes?
Anyway.
Yes.
Predictions for next week.
Such good stories. Such good stories. Predictions. NYXL versus Philly. I'm leaning New York.
I am as well.
But I think Philly will take a map off them, and high hopes, maybe even a map 5.
This will be...
the litmus test.
Yeah, this will be a really good test for both of these teams. I think if New York plays the way that they did in their second game and have kind of ironed out the kinks in playing a more aggressive, proactive style, I think they pull out the win here.
Well, yeah. And I mean, again, we talked about our higher tier teams, and it's New York.
Yeah.
Let's be real. They're still top 3.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a matter of which place in top 3 they are, and we haven't seen enough from San Francisco to really kind of suss them out either. They've had one match.
Yeah. Up next, Boston versus Houston.
I'm gonna go for Houston. I have to.
As a New Yorker, this hurts me.
You're going for Boston?
I am.
Oh, buddy. It's going to be painful for everybody.
Yeah.
Yay!
If basically Houston, what I'm saying here is prove me wrong. I had faith in you at the start of this. If you can get your shit together this weekend, I might vote for you again at some point.
I feel like this entire week is going to be a week of getting shit together for Houston because now they really know what they need to work on.
I mean...
And the building blocks are there.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. This past week, they looked literally the worst that they have in Overwatch League.
I know.
In terms of an individual play and a teamwork level.
You say that like it will stop me.
That is a lot to fix.
I know.
And Boston has their issues. They're underpowered in a lot of roles, but they have individual players that have performed better in their roles than the Houston Outlaws have, and I think they work together slightly better, even if they still have a lot of issues. I'm not saying either team's going to look good doing it. I think Boston is slightly... They're not better, they're less bad.
I mean, I think we might have a match in the same way that we had matches in Season 1 where it was Florida versus Shanghai, and it was close, because it was Season 1 Florida and Season 1 Shanghai.
Yeah.
That I'm not expecting New York versus Vancouver here, but it still might be close.
It's going to be a match in the same way that Derek Lewis versus Francis Ngannou was a fight, and for the few of you that get that joke, you know what I mean.
I have no idea what we're talking about, so here's a bunny with a pancake on its head.
I'll explain off the air.
Paris versus Washington. I'm going Washington with this.
I am also going Washington.
I know Paris has started to be able to pull things out, but my God, after the performance this week, and given that they're at home,
yeah,
I think Washington's got this one.
Up next, New York versus Houston. New
York.
Unique New York.
Realism.
Yes.
I love my Outlaws, but let's be completely real here. This is not even funny.
Toronto versus Philadelphia. Philadelphia.
God, and we've seen Toronto play once and drop a map to Paris and then pull their shit together. I gotta go with my boys. I don't think we've seen enough of them to really say. So I gotta do it.
Oh, this will definitely be a good barometer for where they're at. I still think Philly's gonna win.
I also think that the home fans are gonna go after Philly because of last week. And we don't know how...
Well, Philly and Washington don't like each other that much anyway.
Yeah. So, again, we'll see how
it's
they
not,
do
I'm
in
just
front
saying
of a crowd that's
I'm just saying
happy.
It's not necessarily a thing for last week. I'm saying there's, like you said, patterns.
Pattern recognition. We'll see how they do in front of a crowd that doesn't like them. Because sometimes that can get to you, and I don't think we've seen Philly at a homestand that isn't their own. I don't think they were in any of... I could be wrong, but I don't recall them being in any of the other homestands we had last year.
I will need to double check this because I don't remember either. Anyway.
Because they weren't out here, and I'm pretty sure they weren't in Dallas. Atlanta is the only question.
Yeah. In any case...
We'll continue on. I'll look.
London Spitfire versus Washington Justice. Washington. Yeah.
Like, dear God, not even close.
It might be an interesting series if London plays the way they did against New York, but I don't think they're going to get more than one map, optimistically speaking.
I mean,
I
London
could very easily see the 3-0, but...
London has also had some time to pull their shit together. Not much, but some. The question is, like with Houston, we've seen what they have to pull together. We're familiar with these players. We're familiar with this coaching staff. Like, we kind of know what to expect, at least a little bit. For London, we still don't have a lot to go on except for the gallivanting mess that was last week. They pulled one out real hard on that very first map. And then after that, we had issues. So I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
And I'm having trouble finding the homestands because stuff's not loading.
Yeah, we'll see how they do. I don't think they're going to beat Washington, though.
Oh, no. No, the question is how much they're able to pull out against Washington. And given what we've seen from them, if they haven't taken this past week to improve, if they haven't been able to pull it out in the way that we would hope that they would, I can see an easy 3-0 coming from the Justice.
Oh, yeah.
Just because of what we've seen this past week and what we saw late stages last season.
Yes.
They know their shit. And let's be real, Corey and Stratus are kind of terrifying.
Yeah, they're scary boys.
They are. I love them. They're terrible. I love them.
Yes.
How many people do you think are going to be wearing sunglasses indoors at this homestand? Because
I
Stratus.
hope a lot of them. I'd love to see like a crowd just in unison, just off with the sunglasses.
I mean, I have my Stratus Overwatch glasses.
Oh, I know.
You've seen them.
Yes, I have.
They're gold cat. I'm waiting for my photo shoot to come back because I sure did do a full-on Washington Justice colors cat eye glasses photo shoot,
Yeah.
and I just need the photos to come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I feel like that's doable.
Yeah. I would love it. Anyway, that's just about everything that we have for this week. Shorter show, just because not as much has really gone down.
Yeah, things haven't exploded. We haven't had a lot of news. Like that's
Yeah. I'll take a relaxed
and
week.
far fewer matches this past week.
I do
Far fewer.
I do kind of miss having more stuff to watch in a week.
Oh yeah, just because I'm able to listen to things at work, which is how I got through these, and then I ran out on like Tuesday and went, "Where's the rest? I wanted more. Where's the rest?"
Yeah.
But
But
that's a me problem.
But it'll pick up a little bit. We have more matches this coming week, 6 instead of 4.
And was there supposed to be a homestand this week somewhere else that got canceled?
I believe so, yes.
So that's part of it.
Yeah, and there would be one in time with the Houston one as well. So.
Also, have you seen the merch that Houston is putting out for their homestand?
No.
They have a hot pink 80s style shirt that I need in my life. It is beautiful.
Well, let the people know where you're at on Twitter so they can send you one.
Send me shirts.
Yeah.
Send me things I love. Send me cookies from Fred.
That's
Good,
that's
good
real
shit.
fucking good.
Anyway, I'm Katie. You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. I'm trying to get that Twitch channel up a little bit more, and it's mobile games played well and Overwatch played poorly, and I am not kidding about that. I am in low bronze. It's a good time.
I gotta get back into my comp grind. It's been a while.
Yeah, Mr. Diamond.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you can find me on Twitter at _rage_nerd. Also, I haven't been able to do it as much just because of my work schedule, but I cast for the Star Esports Overwatch tournament, the All-Star Brawl. Check it out. It's a Tier 3 tournament that a lot of teams in it are aspiring for contenders trials and do pretty well in open division. A lot of these players are really, really talented. Go check it out. Show support.
All right. You can follow this podcast on Twitter at OnThePointPod, where I keep saying, I'm going to try to do better, and then I fail. So I am still attempting, but I make you no guarantees, because that is how we live our lives.
Pretty much.
Attempts were made, attempts were not always successful, and yet attempts continue to be made. The story of the Houston Outlaws this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm suddenly very busy working on a TV show, pitching social media content for said TV show, and I'm going to be working on script doctoring a short film. I've got a lot of stuff to do.
And I have a new job and a lot of press engagements coming up. that have nothing to do with the new job. Anyway, we have lives, but we still come out with this podcast because no one else wants to hear us talk about Overwatch League, so we do it to each other so as to spare our various roommates and friends. So thank you guys for listening, because we really appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you're good people. All right, that all we got?
Yep.
Let's C9.
Right.
When you try your best, but you don't succeed.
You might be Houston.
Fuck you.